Today we're going to be putting on some aftermarket fog lights on this 2015 to 2018 model Chevy Tahoe. So since we're putting aftermarket fog lights on here, we're going to make a brief video for you guys on how to do it, how to take off these caps, how to put these on, where to run the wires to and everything, any wires that we have to extend or whatever for these aftermarket fog lights. Another thing is if you guys are putting LEDs, like we're putting LEDs on this customer's vehicle, this aftermarket fog light uses a H11 bulb. The bulbs it came with were H11, but it comes with like a 5202 adapter. Even though the plug that comes with this wiring is an H11, it comes with this adapter. I'm guessing so that if you guys are using these aftermarket lenses to replace your OEM lenses that you guys might have busted or melted or something, that's why they give you these, so you could plug this to that H11 bulb and you could plug this into your OEM harness or whatever still. So we're not going to be using these. And this setup comes with this aftermarket style switch. Same thing like you guys probably see on light bars and stuff when people put those on. Comes with this type of switch that's just going to stick on somewhere on the dash. So we'll be showing you guys how to take off these caps, how to run the wires and everything. Alright guys, so we're underneath the car right now. So these had to come off. You had two 10s, 110 here, 110 here, and a clip right here. So that you could kind of pull this down and reach in this area easier. After that, let's put the camera in here. This vehicle, it has a clip right here. So you guys are probably going to have another 10 right here. This vehicle is missing it on both sides. I'm not sure if they tried installing it already before or somebody tried attempting it, but most likely you're going to have another 10 right there. After that, you have two 8s, right, on top? Or 7s?
7s.
So on top, those two are 7 millimeters. One there, and then we got to put another one back down right here. So right now we're putting them back on, but to take them off it's going to be exactly the same. So how I just showed you to take off this bottom part of the fender liner, if you're going to go in this way, and to remove it you have a total of 4 screws to remove the original cap that was here, correct?
Yeah.
So you have 2 up there, 1 there, and 1 down there. So to put those back, to put the fog lens back on is going to be exactly the same way like you took off these caps. Alright you guys, so we have a power ground. We're going to extend the ground cable, run it over there. This relay I always use electrical tape because the fact that the manufacturer makes this relay be outside for some reason instead of inside the vehicle, they usually tend to corrode. So when your fog lights stop working, usually this is going to be the issue. Usually the relay or that little fuse goes bad, which the fuse area also zip tie. To run the wire down, we're going to cut this ground cable and extend it to go directly to the battery, but you could also probably sand this down. If it reads as a ground, you could sand a little part of it, read it with a voltage meter or something. If it is reading as a ground, you could put a self-tap screw here, as long as it does read as a ground. So the wires that ran down through here for this aftermarket relay run down, then it powers both fog lights. From there, the wire is going to run from this side to that side. Zip tie all your wires that are going to be on the bottom. Make sure they're somewhere where it's not going to get, where it's not touching a radiator or anything down there, or any fans or belts or anything that could rip it or cut it or cause any type of short by cutting it and making a power and ground touch. Besides that, the manufacturer didn't put protective wire wrap on this piece, so I'm going to put protective wire wrap on this piece of the wire. We're going to run this across there. When you run it across there, just mount it somewhere where you think is best, where this wire should not be touching a radiator or something that's going to be getting really hot. So essentially you could most likely zip tie it somewhere right here. You could most likely pick up your tabs right here, lift this plastic and kind of tuck it in there. Or if this does not conduct a lot of heat, you could run it through that hose or zip tie it along that. Whatever you guys expect would be the best. You guys could try running your vehicle too to make sure that it doesn't get hot in that area. So you guys mount it. Besides that, this wire is running through here. We're going to add that protective wire wrap right here. Then you have this that has to go to a ground, and you have this that goes to ACC power. We're going to run these to the inside of the vehicle. There's a fuse box on the inside. So it looks like on this new Tahoe you have like a rubber grommet right here. So you can usually push this down and run the wire in through there. Or usually what people do is like make a hole right here. When you make a hole, just make sure you're not popping into any, like stabbing into any wires. You don't want to cause more damage or something that's going to be more expensive for trying to do it yourself. So when we run these inside, you have a fuse box right here. To get this fuse box off, it's all held in with clips. I started at these two on the bottom and worked my way up to the other three. Then once you pull the clips out, it pops out this way. You can see the other two little tabs that hold it in. To take it out, I use this little plastic pry bar just so I don't scratch anything up. If you use a flat screwdriver, especially when you're prying around this area, you could end up scratching that paint up on your dash, which you don't want to do. When we run the wires inside, there's also going to be a little connection for this switch. So usually these switches, we usually run the wires somewhere through here and put this wherever the customer wants it. If they want it stuck onto their dash somewhere here, stuck onto their dash somewhere there, or even if they want it on this side, wherever the customer would like this, that's where we're going to put this switch. So usually we take off this cheap tape that it comes with, and we use like that outdoor 3M tape, because usually with the heat, this cheap tape that comes on here, usually the little button falls off after a couple of days. So that way you just avoid the headache by doing it now instead of having it dangling in later, like where your gas and brake pedal are. So where we ran them in from, let's see if I can get you guys a good camera view of this, I guess. So that rubber piece that I was showing you guys where this is going to push in from, it's a lot easier with two people. If you have one person push that rubber garment down and feed the wire into you, you can kind of see where it's coming in from right there while I'm wiggling the wire around. So we pulled it in through there. So now we have the cable for the ACC and the one for the ground. And then you also have that little white plug. I also have the little white plug that's going to plug in for the switch. So the one that's going to ACC, we're going to run that wire out towards this way so that it could tap into that fuse. For the ground, you guys could test basically anything down here. Anything you put a self-tap screw in, please make sure you guys check behind it and make sure there's nothing important that you guys are going to be drilling into. You don't want to drill into something and have an important wire that you're going to pinch or cut or something behind it. But like if you test this and this is a ground, you could put a self-tap in right there. If you test this area and this reads as a ground, you could put the ground cable there and just put a self-tap through there. Or for example, like let's say I test this and this is a ground, then you could loosen up this, put the ground in there and tighten this back up. As long as it's a good ground. Test it after to make sure it is a ground. I'll let you guys know once we put the ground on to show you guys which one we tapped into. For these also, instead of stripping the wire and just tucking it in there like a lot of people do, I tested all these already. I believe that was the only 10 that was ACC power, that only gives power once you turn the ignition on. So what we do is we add a circuit. It's like basically looks like a fuse that pops into there, and then you add two of the same types of fuses. I'll show you guys what that looks like too. It just looks a lot cleaner, and you guys don't gotta strip the wire and kind of just keep pushing it in and hope it stays in place. What an added circuit looks like. So it has to be the same type of tip for that type of fuse you guys are taking out, because they do make a bunch of different sizes. So you see how that's for a different size fuse. You see how it's wider and shorter, and then they have this one that looks like this, but it's further apart and the tabs are a little bit bigger. So you have to make sure you're using the correct size if you're going to be using something like this. And then you also have to use the same size fuse that fits into this. So what this does, it's a lot easier and it looks cleaner, it's safer, because what I see a lot of people do when they add stuff like this, they strip the wire, they kind of wrap the wire around this fuse and kind of just push it in place. But then what happens is sometimes this fuse does not go all the way in. And if the fuse is not all the way in after a certain amount of bumps on the road or whatever, it's possible for the fuse to fall out. If the fuse falls out and this fuse that popped out is for something important, let's say like for your fuel pump or something important like that that needs to be getting power while the vehicle is on, then you're going to run into a lot of issues like that. So this is just a cleaner way, smarter way to do it. one of these runs current through what's existing for that slot, and the other one just runs the runs the current out to this to power whatever new accessory you're adding onto there. I took out that OEM fuse that was right there, since when I tested it on this model, that was the only one that gets power when you put the key in the ignition and turn it on. I put 2 fuses in this new added circuit, added it. The added circuit already has like this blue plastic crimp that you just strip this ACC power, tuck it in there and crimp it. Even when I use those, I still always add electrical tape. Just because most of the stuff's all made in China, just in case that shit ever comes out for any reason, the wire won't be touching anything. I mean, the tape's still going to be there holding it, but you don't have to add that. I just always do as like an extra precaution. And then after that, this piece of the install is going to be done, so I'm going to pop this cap back on. So you just got to line up all these tabs, push the tab back in. And then also, if you guys ever need any spare fuses, you guys have some right there. Alright, you guys, so I ended up putting the ground cable there. I tested it, it does read as a good ground. We're going to zip tie these wires up towards some of this factory stuff so they'll be out of the way. I had to push the parking brake down to get through it. If you guys are going to be using the same spot, I use the thinner metal instead of the thicker one to tap into. But if you guys are using the same spot, don't go higher, because then you'll cut into that plastic. You can see this one barely cleared that plastic. If you go up higher with that screw, you're going to drill into that plastic right there. Besides that, now it's hooked up to power and ground. If you guys are doing the aftermarket ones also, you have these little 3 cables. Usually what happens when you plug these in, you could plug it in and it won't work. It's because the fact that one of these pins usually bends out of place, and it won't make a connection when you plug it in. So as you can see, that one on the corner is kind of slanted. So when I plug this in, it's a clear plastic, so you could kind of see when it starts going in. So you kind of just wiggle it to make sure all 3 go in when you plug this in. And then besides that, we're going to run the cable. I'll probably drop the cable down through here. After I drop that down with a switch, then I'll connect it down here, plug it together, and I'm still going to use electrical tape again on this. After that, tuck all your wires away, clean up your area, zip tie them, everything out of the way. We ran the cable up here, but like I said, we're going to just change this tape to some better tape, and we're going to just leave it here. You could stick this here if you want, here on the other side. We don't stick it on, we just leave it there so the customer could pick where they want it at. All the wires that are going to be running right here, zip tie everything, make sure you don't have any loose wires or anything hanging. The battery cable goes directly to the battery, and then we ended up sanding down that piece and adding the ground cable there. This has worked before you guys put everything back together, so we'll turn them on right now so you guys can see how it looks after we added the fog lights on this vehicle. Alright you guys, so when you guys put everything together, same thing on the bottom. You guys want to zip tie all these cables. You don't want anything to be hanging or sagging down, or it could end up ripping. So everything's put together now down here, and we're gonna test the item to make sure everything works. So now both of the fog lights are on. They're not gonna be this bright with the regular bulbs that they come with. On this vehicle, they just look really bright because we put a LED kit. And shut them off. Turn them back on. Alright, so the kit that we're using on this vehicle is a Switchback LED kit. So the first time you turn them on, they're white, you shut them off, turn them back on, they're like a warm white, shut them off, turn them on again, they're amber. And then the fourth function is they blink amber, kind of like their hazard lights. I'll put the link below for the LED kit that we use on this vehicle. Make sure you order the right size if you're going to order them. These are aftermarket fogs. On these they use an H11, but the other ones usually use like a 5202 bulb or PSX 26W, depending on the for the OEM bulbs. Hopefully this video helps you guys out how to install some aftermarket fog lights on this new. For 15 to 18, it should be exactly the same.